There are some key phrases in this bill that was passed, not proposed, it's signed into law that I want to share with you. VA disability claim sharks and all their fanboys took a big L a couple weeks ago as Maine, just like New Jersey, is now on board and has signed a bill into law effective April 11th of this year, 2024, to make any service to assist veterans in VA disability compensation benefits officially illegal. There are over 100,000 veterans in Maine that are now protected. And if you currently have a contract with any company, consider it dead and gone. Congratulations, you've saved yourself thousands of dollars. Now, I'm going to read a quote from Senator Brad Farron, which is a senator of Maryland. He said, "The fact that out-of-state firms who are not accredited by or accredited VSOs or attorneys or claims agents came to testify against this bill shows just how lucrative this business can be." Meaning, these companies have taken millions and millions of dollars from veterans. The VFW is hard at work across multiple states, not just Maine, to ensure veterans are protected. Currently, we have hearings in California, which has 1.8 million veterans, and Virginia has essentially been pushed to November of this year, so we'll have to wait and see. Of course, there are other states going through these same pieces of legislation, and it's like a countrywide game of chess between the VFW and all of these claims consulting companies. So here's the summary of the bill. It says any profits from these services that are deemed excessive or unreasonable are not allowed. And then this helps to protect veterans from predatory practices while seeking help with benefits. So let's go ahead and take a look at this bill to start. And you can see it's effective April 11th of this year, signed by the governor, state of Maine. All this stuff is good. So this is the 2259. If you look up MELD 2259, you'll find this, okay? It's act to prohibit compensation, yada, yada, yada. It has some definitions up here. Where I want to point out are the prohibitions. A person may not, and let's go ahead and read them. A person may not receive compensation for preparation, presentation, or prosecution of or advising. So this is in addition from the section 14 of 38 CFR, or advising, consulting, or assisting an individual with a veteran's benefits matter, except as permitted under federal law. The second one is a person may not receive compensation for referring an individual to another person to prepare, present, or prosecute, or advise, consult, or assist the individual with a veteran's benefit matter. Okay. Now, there are some others down here. They essentially say the same thing. And it also talks about a fee that is excessive or unreasonable, which is really getting at not just the claims consulting businesses, but like law firms and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, way to go, Maine. You know, that's a pretty big win for the VFW. Now, I already know we are going to have some butthurt Bettys in the comments. So let me give you my take once again on this issue, right? First and foremost, above all, I am pro what the VFW is doing here, and I am Team Guard Act all the way. With that said, two things can be true. In fact, multiple things can be true, right? One, are these companies helping veterans? That answer is yes. These companies are helping veterans get rated, right? But are these companies charging an insane price to do so? The answer is also yes. Are these companies conducting predatory practices like charging for PACT Act related claims and initial claims when the veteran has all the evidence? That answer is yes. Are these companies charging for BDD claims, which is not only the easiest, all-time easiest claims to submit and be awarded, but it's also the most potential for the highest increase? Once again, that answer is yes. These companies are doing that. These companies have got to go, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, they got to be illegal in all states, and we need to hope for the GUARD Act to be pushed on the federal level. And in the meantime, New Jersey, Maine, check mark. We got to focus on all the other states, okay? But at this point, I'd settle for these companies to be regulated the same as attorneys and claims agents. To be honest with you, if these companies weren't greedy and charging 6 times or 5 times the increase and doing some real shady practices, I don't think anyone would have ever had concern about these companies. But once that greed took over, the floodgates opened up, right? And we really saw the PACT Act be established. And at the same time the PACT Act was established, here come these companies. They are directly correlated. Some would even say a causative link between the PACT Act legislation, which were easy claims, and a rise of tons and tons of companies. All of a sudden, everyone's mom owns a VA claims consulting company, and they are the expert, okay, which is insane to me. Now, if these companies only charged in appeals and were capped at 20 or 25% in appeals only, I think we'd all be good, right? I would compromise on that personally. I don't think the VFW will, right? I would, and I can see both sides. But regardless, what I want is these companies to be regulated, either illegal or have the same constraints as an accredited attorney or a claims agent, meaning appeals only. There's absolutely zero reason why a veteran should be charged for an initial claim of any kind. There's absolutely zero reason for a veteran to be charged 5 times or 6 times the increase. There's no reason for that, okay? If these companies abide by the same standards of attorneys and agents, I think they would have swept under the rug and lived, their happy little married life. But they had to charge, $7,000, $8,000, $12,000, sometimes $20,000 plus dollars for an initial claim when the veteran had all the evidence. And in my book, that's never going to be good. Okay, it's the predatory practices that really drew attention to these companies. So yes, we can talk about what led to this problem, and in my opinion, my answer is the problem stems from CMP examiners, but that's neither here or there, right? Yes, we can go back and forth, and you can hate me and hate my channel, and all of that is fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, none of that matters. Zero of that matters until legislation is passed. And in this case, we're talking about the legislation that was passed in Maine. So y'all can eat it, right? Make that sandwich, put some mayonnaise, mustard, whatever you want on it, and you can eat that all you want because it is now illegal in Maine, which means it's prosecutable by law, right? So New Jersey, Maine, gold star for you. It's a pretty solid victory for the VFW, especially now that in 2 states, hopefully more will follow suit.